mixing the track levels. I put here like an auto load ready here in Logic Pro. As you can see, I have a lot of still outboard gear. You can see there on the channel strips also that I put tracks like the ES-X24 Fab Filter, Albino, Reactor, all sorts of soft synths, and of course here you can see all audio tracks which I can use for samples or vocals or whatever. So actually this is the basics on setting channel levels when mixing. And the basic fader function, actually each channel on a mixer board, whether it be a physical or one on a computer screen, in this case has faders whose primary purpose is to control the volume of the channels. The higher up you slide the fader, the louder the channel volume gets, of course. And here on the left side you can see here if you're going up and down. So let's say I'm going here like to an audio track which we use for samples, and here you see of course the fader. This is the fader of the groups or the buses which we can assign to. So here is the fader of the particular track here, the audio one track, which I can move up and move down depending on how loud I want that volume to be sound. So somewhere around 25% from the top of the fader slot there will be a notch or line which represents the zero level, and that's of course here. If I put it down, I just double click it and I can do 0. It also moves up back to the 0 dB point, of course. The channel level meter, each channel has a meter that also reads the 0 level, and anything over that level turns red and the output of that channel could clip and distort. So this is another area that is not just worth going over the 0 level. Like I said, here we have of course the buses where we can assign each of the channels to. The only exception are fast hits like cymbals or a drum, and these instruments could jump past the 0 level in the +2 clip range and still not distort because they're only in that range for less than a second at a time. So always let your ears be the judge. Of course, also aside, if we add here like a compressor, we can always add of course a limiter to break down that distortion barrier. So here in the limiter plugin we can also easily fix that distortion. So when setting channel levels with most songs, I start always with a kick drum and then a bass guitar, leads and so on. So and then I add everything else one by one in relation to the initial bass tracks. So the final tip, always let your ears tell how this mix sounds. Visually, mixing meters won't always tell you the whole story, so it's really important always keeping track that you never clip and go above those 0 levels here in your channel strip parts here. So on every channel, doesn't matter here whether use MIDI tracks or soft synths, always make sure that you stay within that 0 range like here. Soft synths, more outboard gear can go to 127. It's a different kind of a reading than if you use audio and soft synth tracks, but always make sure you don't exceed the 0 dB level in mixing your tracks.